And no one's immune to failing, you know?
No.
Don't think you're not going to fail or it's not going to happen, because it could happen. Politicians are doing it. Big businesses are doing it. Don't feel bad about it.
Most of these liquidators are scumbags. They're corrupt, completely
Yeah,
corrupt. They're
yeah.
looking at you as prey. Follow the book, do it right, and don't get legalese involved where you don't have to. Back with episode 25 of the Bronups. In the
Sick.
original set, bruh. Quarter
We
of a
did-
century.
Didn't we do episode 20 sat on the sofa too?
Yeah, I think we did.
Yeah, we did, yeah. Mad.
Sit, and we got new stock. And there's a few different things we're going to touch on in this episode as well. Some of it is like how to deal with a failing business, because we talk about business in all this way, but unfortunately bad things happen, and it's nothing to do with us or our skills, and we shouldn't lose confidence about it. It's just part of being a business person, and yeah, we should get into
Yeah,
that.
the amount of businesses filing for bankruptcy has reached it's growing. In Germany, I saw stats of Germany the other day. It's like 1,500 businesses a week are filing for bankruptcy.
What they say that they're trying to help entrepreneurs. They make it hard. We're talking about that with Alfie, weren't we?
Yeah. Yeah, this country doesn't welcome entrepreneurialism.
But there are certain things you can do to make like a closure of a business as least stressful as it can be. The thing about a business closing is no matter what position you're in, it's hella stressful. And there are certain things you can do to make your life way more stressful if it's your first rodeo. So me and Shiz have both got experience with dealing with closing businesses, dealing with both the stress, the personal liabilities, and how to stop a lot of these, like, they're blowhards. They try and make you think they're more powerful than they are, don't they?
Yeah, and the first things first, prevention is better than cure. So if you watch, was it episode 18, 19? I don't know. The one about starting a limited company.
Yeah, so let's get back into that first then, bro. So the first thing is first, and let's talk about the contracts and everything, because it's all good setting the limited company up, but there's a lot of places where people fall short on it.
Yeah, so first things first, set up a limited company. It costs what? Less than 30 quid now?
Yeah.
You can pay another company if you find it hard to do. Still won't cost you more than 100 quid. That's your insurance. That's your free insurance. So you don't lose your house, you don't lose your car, you don't get chased for the rest of your life, and you could just abandon ship the minute everything goes south, you know?
Yeah,
So
bang
set
on.
up a limited company. That's the first thing you do, no matter what you're doing.
And the thing is, you've set the limited company up, but you didn't set the limited company up for vanity. You set the limited company up as a protection method. So don't set the limited company up and be like, oh, I'm running this recruitment business, or I've set up this building company, and then start signing things as your personal name. You need to be disciplined with it. Still remember that the reason you set this limited company up, no matter how good your business idea is, you did it in case you ever went bust.
Yeah.
So don't sign things. Don't use personal credit cards. Even if people aren't giving you credit, remember why you started the limited company. You know
And
what I
no
mean?
one's immune to failing, you know?
No.
Don't think you're not going to fail or it's not going to happen, because it could happen.
You
Stuff's
could have the
out of
best
your
idea
control.
on the block and it hits.
Yeah, boom, wiped out in a day.
Done.
It's
Mad.
crazy. So many companies are literally bankrupt. The minute COVID happened, they just went out. They didn't wait. They didn't wait for relief, nothing. They just filed. Boom. Because it's sometimes advantageous to close your company down and start again doing the exact same thing, you know?
Oh, yeah,
That's
'cause
another
if-
thing people don't do.
If you've got a load of money in the balance sheet, you don't want to just run that to zero, do you?
Yeah.
You need to
People
get it
get
out.
precious about the limited company. It costs 30 quid to set up. Just close it, open another one, you know?
Yeah.
And also, if you've got a business, like this is what I'm in right now, if you're getting to the VAT point, for example, you're at like month 11 of your business, yeah, and you're about to hit, of your tax year, about to hit the VAT threshold, which is what, 80k right now? 80
Yeah.
something, 82? If you're at that point, right, and you're about to cross, sometimes you're better off just closing that business and opening another one, because the minute you go over that, suddenly you owe 20% on everything you've turned over. So you got to give away 16k, which you might not have because you might not have made that because you didn't prepare for VAT. So don't be precious about your limited company. Keep an eye on your numbers. As soon as you're hitting that 8k, either, you know, be ready for it early when you start seeing that you're turning over like 6-7k a month, or just shut down for a month. It's actually beneficial to do that, you know?
Definitely. What would be your recommendation if someone's actually got the failing business in front of them and they're dealing with it? What do they do? What's the best move?
Failing. So we had that. My friend called us up the other day. Remember, we were having lunch and he
Yeah.
was asking advice on striking off, and it was he owed 20k to HMRC, he owed 6-7k to electricity company, he owed another 3k to company's house, and there's no point because he wasn't making money. He wasn't making enough to pay off that 36k that he owed. Like, he'd have to work for another year for free.
Yeah. And I think what you have to remember about these creditors is we're often like, oh, no, I owe this person money. But hang on, they did business with you. They took risk just in the way that you took
Yeah.
risk dealing with them. So you shouldn't feel so precious like you've let someone down
Oh,
personally.
yeah.
Because when it's a business to business, that's not how it is.
If it's your friend, obviously try. You know what I mean? Well, you can't legally actually. I can't even give you that advice to go pay off your friend first. You know?
Yeah.
Because it's
Preferential
illegal
credit.
to do that. But when you're paying stuff off when your business is running, try pay off people you care about more, and don't worry about big corporations, because big corporations all the time strike off not paying off other big corps. You know, you could like not pay your Eon bill, you could not pay your HMRC bill. Like politicians are doing it, big businesses are doing it. Don't feel bad about it. It's normal.
Yeah.
They price that risk in anyway, just like a shop prices in shoplifting. You're paying 20% more for your car accident for your car insurance because people out there are crashing cars on purpose and claiming whiplash.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
just a part of the game.
The game is the game, and you either get eaten or you be the predator, or it's not even about being a predator. You even play in the game to the rules that are generally accepted in the wider society, because the rules that are in the book, not even the people that wrote the book are playing by those rules.
Yeah. It's not a morality thing. It's a part of the game. And if you don't
it's
play
not
by those
morality.
rules, you're not going to make it.
And like, even if you've lent someone money as a business, if someone's done what they can and their business fails, I don't think we take that shit personally, do we?
Nah,
That's not
not
like
at all.
a friend borrowed money. If a friend borrowed money, and even if it was my business product, of course that's different. But if I said to my friend, "Yo, I'll lend money to your company," and I know it's a risk, that's not his problem if it goes
Yeah.
bust,
Even if someone steals from my business, I never see it as a personal thing because if my business can't withstand one person stealing from it, it's not really a business.
No.
You know what I mean? It's a hobby or whatever it is. Or like even like getting scammed or one little thing. Like it's not a business. You have to price in those risks all the time.
Definitely, because loss is a part of business, isn't it? Getting stolen from is a part of business.
Yeah. So there's a company out in Somerset where someone called them up or sent them a fake spam email, said, "Can you pay your invoice?" Change the bank details over. They paid out 100K, I think, and their business closed overnight.
Seriously.
Yeah. So
Because of a fake invoice.
yeah, mad in it. That is a big hit, but I don't know. You got to have something in place to make sure that doesn't happen.
Yeah, how big is their business for a 100 to do it? Is that like all of their money kind of thing?
Yeah, I think there was another one actually, not even far from that other one, which got hit for $1 million, folded
million
overnight.
Fake invoices.
Yeah, it's a crazy business, that spam business.
That spam invoices thing. We got burned for $5,000 at my company. They send you, they'll get into your emails and they literally will master it to the T. They pretended to be a company that we owed money to, and again just say, "Hi, please can we pay the invoice? Just to let you know it's changed it over." And they emailed from the guy's legit email.
Yeah,
But
mad.
they hacked his email.
Oh, so they hacked his email. Yeah.
And we paid it.
Because I was speaking to Dan about it. Dan's your IT guy and our friend, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, there's two ways people do it. They make a fake email, which looks like it. So it'll be like James@JLB rather than JLC. And most people won't spot it because you can spoof it. So it just looks like James Lake, So unless you click the James Lake, it won't say James@JLB. It'll just look normal. And so that can happen, which is a fake one. And then the real one is when they send you a password reset email. You reset it not like an idiot because everyone does it, but you reset it and they now have your email and they've got all your conversations. They just email someone, "We've changed our bank details. Please pay us,"
And what you just said there about them having all the conversation is key, bro.
Yeah.
They literally, the guy I'm talking about, I don't want to mention his name, the guy I'm talking about, they spoke like he spoke.
Yeah.
They even spoke with the same abbreviations, calling the people by the same shortened names. So, like, yeah, you're not going to get away from it,
Bro,
bro.
you could chuck one of the old emails or two old emails into ChatGPT and say, "Write me an email like this guy wrote it," and boom, you have your template. You know what I mean?
Seriously, is that
Yeah.
how it works?
Yeah, right. You could even go ChatGPT, and I could say, I could put our conversation right now, the last 5 minutes. I say, transcript this. Now write it as if Robert De Niro in Scarface said it, and it'll rephrase the whole thing like it's a Scarface
No
script.
way.
Yeah, it's mad.
That's so
Or like
sick.
anyone, it could be like McLovin from Superbad. Rewrite this last 5 minutes. Boom.
Mental, man.
And then you got another app which will even put that voice on, or I could put in your last 30 seconds of talking, and I could get an audio clip to sound just like you.
Mad.
Like the imitation out there is crazy. So
We
stay away
need to
from
use
scams.
AIs for the clips, bro.
Yeah.
Because there's meant to be ways that you could just feed a whole like
Yeah, there
long
is,
form
yeah.
episode, and it will work out the pertinent information of what we clips.
Yeah, there's ones which work out what they reckon will slap as well, like works out hooks and stuff.
Bro, and to that liquidator point a second ago, I remember what the gentleman was having lunch with. He was saying is that they want to charge $6,000 for the privilege of coming in, working out who. So when you phone a liquidator, you're a failing company. You're failing. You have no money because you're failing. You want to bust a business. Well, you actually need quite a lot of money to do that, which is fucking crazy. You need like $6,000. However, they make it act like you have to go to liquidators. You do not have to go to liquidators. Liquidators' job is to proportion the funds equally. You can do that as a fair, reasonable person.
Yeah.
You take the funds. You don't charge no $6,000. And the thing about liquidators is they're like, we're on your side. We know you've been acting fair. We're gonna get you your money. We're gonna get the money back to the right people. Once you give them, you basically sign over your directorship to them, and they basically become a dictator of your company. And then you are just cannon fodder. You owe me this. It's the worst thing you could do, get a liquidator in. Most of these liquidators are scumbags. They're corrupt, completely corrupt. They're looking at you as prey, and now you're your customer. You got to remember, a liquidator, you appoint them as a liquidator, and you're the customer as a failing business. But now they've reached the capacity of the money they will get from you because you're not going to give them more money. Your business has failed. So the minute that they take control, you are now a victim of theirs, and they will destroy you, bro.
Yeah, and the second part is before you get to liquidating, if you've got a lot of money in your business, you know, you're gonna try and ride it out, you know, pay yourself, whatever, before you get to that point where you have to declare like you're gonna be bankrupt or striking off, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Because from the minute you realize your business is going south and you can't pay your bills, you're supposed to like kind of, you know what I mean, get ready for it. Give
Definitely.
everyone 3 months notice. You're gonna close up.
Yeah, the way it legally works with the liquidator is if you knew you were losing money from, say, December 2020, but you had £1 million in retained profits, if they could prove that you were paying out retained profits knowing the company wasn't turning around, it would be very hard for them to prove, because you'd think, you'd say it was going to turn around. It was going to turn around. We had this big thing that we expected, because that is a legitimate argument they'll accept. But they will try to argue that, well, we didn't think that we don't believe you thought it was going to turn around, and you should have never paid out those profits. That was your money, by the way.
Yeah. So
That's
pay
fucked.
yourself as much as you can, and then do your best to keep it open for another 3 months minimum. You know, I'd say even probably 6 months to be safe. You know.
Yeah.
And these are rules which are set by politicians for a reason, because they're using the same rules to get out of their businesses or their friends' businesses or family's businesses, you know?
Bro, some of these politicians are the worst business people ever. They have like 100 bankrupt businesses on them.
Bro, they don't need to be good business people because they got the cheat code. They change the rules.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
if it
man.
goes south, they change the rules. They don't have to play by the rules. So they
I'm-
don't have to be good at business, you know?
I'm going to give you a horror story, and you know about this. I don't want to get into specifics, but Shiz knows about it. But I had an old business. I was involved in an old business. I won't even get involved. I won't even say which business it is. I'm just being ambiguous because I don't want any issues to come back. But there was a business. We did everything to the code, but the guy was taking money out when he shouldn't have been. And then when the liquidator opened up the accounts, they say, well, all of the directors are culpable for the money. And I got sued for money he had taken because it was a liquidator. Now, that was messy. It was a partnership had broken. There was always going to be a liquidator involved because we wouldn't have been able to mitigate it between us. But the fact of what I'm saying is if there was no liquidator involved and that was just my business, I would have written to all the creditors. And this is the crazy thing. He came back to take money off of us to go back to the creditors, which was us. But we ended up paying 100 grand in legal fees, which was their fees, for money to come back to us, which didn't even come back to us in the end because the 100 grand legal fees ate up all the money we gave him back. So
Mad.
complete corruption.
Yeah, nuts.
It's crazy, bro. So yeah, basically, it's all just red tape and just stupid contracts.
You know,
wanna get
people are
away from it.
wondering right now, why is there a system in place where a company can close down and the person who started it doesn't owe anyone money and they could just set up a company, get loads of stuff on credit, you know, loads of stuff ticked to them, get loads of stock, build up and close down overnight because, you know, entrepreneurs can't be, you know, these people are the people who keep our economy going, right? Small to medium enterprises are paying what, like 70% of the tax or whatever, aren't they?
Yeah.
Like they actually keep the money in. They're not big enough to avoid tax. They're not big enough to send the money abroad. They're the people who employ the most people. They're the largest growth sector. So these people, they need to be able to fail and hit up a new business with the same motivation without being bogged down. Because a lot of these guys have failed over and over and over again. Like my friend was saying to me the other day, like, oh, but your last business failed. I was like, bro, Elon Musk has failed like 10 times. Bezos, I don't know about Bezos, but like every person who's in a big business right now failed countlessly and then opened one which has boomed and made up for all the losses.
Yeah, 100%.
And if they were bogged down from the debt from their first one or had people chasing them, they couldn't even concentrate or have the money to open up a next business, you know?
Yeah, there's definitely no shame in the code. Like Woolworths
Yeah.
shut.
Yeah.
Virgin Megastore shut. Do you know not many businesses as big as they ever get
VHS.
last more than 50 years?
Yeah.
And like, yeah, if you can get a business last a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, it's a slog,
Yeah.
man.
50% of businesses close down in the first year, and then after that, another 50% close, and on the third year, it's like another 30%. So what are you left with? So if you started with 10 businesses, by the second year, there's only 5, and after that, there's only 2.5, and after that, there's only like 1.
Yeah, and I noticed
So-
it even in my business cycles. So I'll have 1 year that goes good, 2 years that are okay, 1 year goes good. So you could almost say that was like 3 year businesses in it. And like, so I'm never beating myself up like, oh, I'm dumb, I'm smart. It's not that. I just look, everything flows, life flows, your health flows, everything flows,
Yeah.
wealth flows.
Yeah, that's what we were saying the other day, though. Like, we need to get into a business which is like a necessity. You know what I mean? Like food, housing, power, all those things, because those things are like backed by the government, you know? Can't fail. Like, everyone's always going to need somewhere to stay, right? And land, we're not making any more of that, you know? Computers, everything else, we're making more of cars, we're making more of, you know? That market's constantly getting diluted. But land, they're not making any more of that, you know?
Yeah.
Food is
no.
getting eaten and it turns into waste. Something else that everyone needs, you know?
Yeah. What would you recommend the writing letters to all the creditors as a way of trying to get out of business as well?
Yeah, just keep it all, follow the book, and you can't get done for it, you know?
Yeah, follow the book, do it right, and don't get legalese involved where you don't have to. Like these people who charge £300 an hour to help a failing business shut down. Like think about how backwards that is. Your duty as a director of a failing business is to get back as much money to the people who lent you as possible, and then to be able to start a new business with your reputation intact, knowing that you did the fair thing. The worst thing you could do is go give it to a liquidator, especially if you're talking about small money. They're going to try and proportion your 20 grand balance sheet over your, they will swallow it 20 grand. No one gets any money. And it's just corruption.
Yeah. And be careful with the advice your accountant gives you, because they don't always know. Like I had this issue, my accountant didn't really give me clear advice. And then I called up to my bank to tell them, obviously, we can't pay the money we owe them. And they're like, okay, well, that's incorrect. Call this number. Actually, I got it here, 0808 169 8438. And they'll give you free advice on how to strike off and not pay your bills.
Oh,
Like
sick.
that's a
So-
government-backed thing.
Nice.
So you follow procedure. And they gave me more clear information. And then I was like, it turned out like I was telling my accountant the correct way to do it after, you know?
Yeah.
Because I listened and she's like, make sure you do this, make sure you do this, make sure you... Like, think things as simple as, obviously, if you've got a shop or a business, delete your socials or change the name of them. Because if you have your socials, it looks like you're trading, you know? So you have to delete your socials for 3 months before you strike off.
Good
So
shout.
I cancelled my strike off, deleted my socials, took the sign down off my shop, and then re-struck it off again after, you know?
Nice. Nice.
So you got to follow the correct procedure, because one of those things, if you don't do correct, they're going to be onto you personally. And they're getting more onto doing people personally, you know?
Yeah,
They're trying
yeah.
to change it, bend the rules.
So the process, I don't know if this is the same as you, but the process I've seen done before is, yeah, you stop trading, 3 months clear, no trading. You write a letter on the day you stop trading, is that right? Saying, I've stopped trading today. In 3 months' time, I'll be closing the company. This is your due opportunity to tell me if you object to me closing the company down. But just to let you know, I'll be accumulating all the money I can and then paying you back all a percentage equal to...
Actually, wait, I think, and when you strike off, within 2 weeks, you have to notify everyone that you struck off. That's it. You get like, when you
So
apply
after
for
you've
it,
done the strike as well?
Yeah, so when you apply for the strike, you get this little thing writing like from HMR's company's house. This company's in the process of striking off, and then it's real simple. You just forward that email
Right,
to everyone else.
right.
It's just like a pre-written email, like notice of striking off, and then you can just forward it to all those emails. And then like, I know it's hard to get hold of someone in some of these companies, so you could just send it to like help at Eon Energy or help at British Gas, and if they don't pick up the email, it's even better. As long as you've let them know, you know,
Yeah.
it makes it easier for you.
It's a
So don't worry about the response so much.
Because all of that shit, bro, and those kinds of people, you might write a letter to them saying you're going to wrap up, and they'll write you letters which will scare the living daylights out of you. And you have to just understand that that's their job to scare you. They're trying to pile up their leverage.
You're following government guidelines, you're legally all good, but their job is to make you scared and try pay it. But if you pay it, it's illegal, so
Yeah, they will.
you
crawl
cannot
back.
pay them legally. No matter if this company's putting more pressure on than the other company, you can't favor anyone. You got to
Can
not
you
pay
explain that?
anyone.
And like what what it is about.
So, for example, if I owe you Pete and Tom, like I owe you 100, I owe them 50, I owe them £2, and I think, well, I've got like £10 in my account. Let me pay them off to £2. At least I owe one person less. That'd be illegal.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
I've got to pay off everyone equally. So if I got £2, I've got to pay you off like 69p each or whatever.
Yeah, yeah. And the idea being...
In fact, it's better for me not paying that and just saying to government, I've got £2 in my account. Do what you want with it, you know?
And that's what the liquidator wants. They want to say, leave the £2, we'll get it back to them fairly. But as soon as they get £2, they're like, cool, we're going to sort it. But my hourly
they're
rate
going to charge
is
you
50p a minute.
£6,000 to give that £2 out to people.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. That's what they're like.
And by £2, I literally meant £2 because sometimes we say like quid and we mean the grand. But yeah. So the LS episode, he's like, I turned £6 into 36. He meant £6,000 into 36 grand.
Right.
You know? But
Oh, I remember. That's what you do with the strike off. You have to offer in the initial letter. You say we can't afford to liquidate the company ourselves, so we're going to No, we can't afford to appoint a liquidator, so we're going to liquidate.
Yeah.
If you want to appoint, you can, kind of thing. You offer it to them.
Isn't it different, a strike off and liquidation? Or is it? Because if you don't have anything, you don't get a liquidator in, right?
That's right.
So
Yeah.
you're going to make sure you don't have any stock, but you can't sell off the stock in those last 3 months. So employ a, you know, one of those scrap men or whatever. Like
yeah. So liquidation is what you do up to the strike off, isn't it? You liquidate everything, then you pay everyone back, and providing everyone's back with that, then you can strike off.
Yeah. Yeah. Of course, like this isn't legal advice. Like you want to call that number, I just suggested that's legal advice for you for free.
And there's quite a lot online if you Google this, and you'll have to make sure that the person who's giving you the advice is someone who, and check out the legality of his advice. But it's known on like business forums as a SpongeBob technique, and it's basically just it's designed for you to do a legal liquidation without having the money to do a liquidation. But in actuality, it works for all kinds of businesses, big and small, because it keeps you away from a lot of the corruption. But
Yeah.
that's, again, like she said, I'm not advising you, just saying that,
Yeah, this is not legal or financial advice. I think we've got to say that to keep it legal.
it's not. It's just you can basically get destroyed if you're not careful. So we're saying this is what I would look at.
Yeah, it's just so you're not the victim,
Yeah.
you know, because the government or whoever these people are, these financial bodies will try and make you the victim.
Isn't business a giant psyop? Like, you're in school, you just think, oh yeah, I'll do business. It's hard to do business.
Yeah. It's not even hard to do business because if you give me something, like for example, we got this new stock, right? 20p. Like this is banging for 20p, right? So, okay, it's only worth 20p to us right now because we bought it off the internet, yeah? We got nowhere to sell it. We take it to a car boot, which is probably the worst place to sell it on a winter day or whatever. Like sunny today, we've got a legit reason.
Oh, we had a message actually from Terry Beecham. If you're watching this, he
Yeah.
said we missed a cracker.
Oh, do we?
Yeah, he sent us photos. They had all the Bronups cards found on tables that it was stuck there because of the rain. They
No
were
way.
stuck there.
Sick.
And it was sunny. He said there was loads of people out.
Oh,
That
sick.
is what it is.
So, yeah, in the right environment, you know, car boots, you've seen us sell these for like 10, 2 for 15, whatever, a fiver. But also, I've bought similar glasses on the website, unbranded, for 30 quid, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
So, like, it's easy to do that, right? Bit of marketing, bit of hard selling. You could flip this. That's not the hard part about business, for us anyways. The hard part is always bills you get sidewinded with, you know, that you're not expecting. You know, external forces.
Even tax is a bullshit
Yeah.
one, you know?
Yeah.
Think of, like we said in the last, I think it was the last podcast, or one of them, we'd said that some of the most successful like societies and locations in the world, they don't even charge tax. And look at the
Bro.
degradation that's going on in ours, and we get raped for tax.
Bro, taxation was classed as theft like 100 years ago, you know?
It's crazy,
You
man.
tax people. The people who used to tax people were like local bullies, right? I don't know if you remember me talking about this Clive of India guy. He was classed as a bully. He'd go around Shropshire, yeah,
Yeah.
taxing local businesses. If you didn't pay a tax, you wanted the protection tax, he'd flood your shop or put your windows through. You know?
Mad.
And this guy became Europe's first millionaire.
And was he a criminal in India as well?
Kind of a legal criminal, yeah. But he basically made a deal to tax people over there, and then he got paid like £1 million for a deal he came back with. But yeah, he was classed as a bully and a delinquent, and his main income was tax. There's a lot of people who still, you know, the mob used to tax people, right?
Yeah.
You couldn't have a shop unless you get taxed. Like it was a criminal thing to do. But
It's
now
like
it's
that movie, the series Tulsa King. That's what he's doing. He goes around.
yeah,
You take protection money, but protection money is taxed because no one was getting attacked before the protection money. You know.
yeah, yeah. I know someone else who's super rich in a different country whose dad was taxing people. You know, like you got to pay a tax. It's a different system.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
now obviously tax is used to fund stuff like NHS. It's like a whole different ball game. But a lot of it is wasted. And I wonder, like, are we better off not paying a tax and paying for our own private health insurance? Because that's how capitalism works, right?
I think we are.
You know, like everyone in the town pays towards a road. You know, like
Because
why we pay for a
otherwise-
road up there? But
Otherwise, what you have is you just open it up to just endless corruption.
yeah,
Like if everyone was private, then you have and this is why privatization of certain sectors is good, because if you're dealing with one company and I'm dealing with another and mine starts to get unfair, I switch to yours. So the competition constantly keeps mine in check. But when the government can just appropriate all the funds, that's why the NHS works so ineffectively.
yeah, I don't know though, because these private companies charge. For example, right, me and you set up a shop, and we hire staff. It costs us 10 quid an hour, or whatever. Yeah, whatever
Yeah.
legal wages. What's the legal minimum now? 10.51 or
I
something.
actually don't know. Yeah, so
It's
like
mad. It's
10
going up by a quid as
Yeah.
well. 10%. It's mad. But so we set up a shop now. But if we use a recruitment consultant, which is like a vulture on top of that, they're going to charge us 13 quid. That's basically what a private company does. Like now we're not paying £10 an hour for a nurse. We're paying 13 quid. So this person, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So even if you do have private companies, as important as a few, but the problem is now we've only got like one or two in each sector as a monopoly. So that's just as bad, you know?
Yeah,
It's even
you
worse.
You need more. The anti-competition laws they have in the USA, like you can't have more than 50% are set for that reason, aren't they?
Yeah, but then you got Walmart, like, you know what I mean? You got so much
And
over
Apple,
there.
It's all fucked.
Yeah. People find ways around the law, you know?
Like you got 55% of the US citizens have iPhones, and
Yeah.
although that doesn't count that they bought this year, that means relatively more than half of the phones are iPhone,
Yeah, exactly.
which is it means that the anti-competition laws aren't even standing up.
Yeah. It's one of those things that we talked about earlier. Like, this is supposed to be the place where capitalism rules. Like, are we allowed anti-competition laws? Because that kind of goes against capitalism.
Bro, we kind of
We're
need
like
a
a
great
hybrid.
reset, but not the way that the WEF talk about. We need
Yeah.
it just to like everyone's zero, go do it again, boys.
Yeah.
Because that's otherwise you can't have business. All the biggest business, every business you think of, a corporate giant is doing it now within reason. So I'm not saying there's not ways to make money. Like clearly, me and Shiz doing it now, but I'm just saying that in general, it's no cakewalk making money no more.
No, you need some genuine ingenuity and, you know what I mean?
Bro, if you sent us back 50 years, we'd both be fucking making $1 million a year or two.
Yeah. You could rob a bank. You don't even have to worry about your face.
Yeah, unless you're caught with a smoking gun in your hand, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah. It's mad, and it makes you think. You realize that how people are so like chilled and settled. Like 50 years ago, it must be super easy to make money, but most people still didn't make money.
No,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
So it's like the people who make money are always going to make money.
So do you reckon if we went back, we'd make more money? Or it's always
for
relative,
sure.
we just wouldn't be as smart?
No, I reckon for sure we make way more money.
We would.
Like everything is like everyone's doing everything now, you know. But I don't know. You got the internet now, which gives more opportunity and more equal. But then we've sent everything to China, so whatever we've gained, we've lost. Like we're talking about the tax. Like why are we paying for another town's roads or NHS? Like think about Liverpool. That place went so downhill after the Industrial Revolution because we stopped. Well, it went up during the Industrial Revolution, and then overnight we stopped mining coal. We stopped doing all this, and it just went. You know.
Yeah.
So like we kind of need to prop up these other places, so the places which are making more money support the others, just to make the general quality of life better. And it's a real tricky one, you know.
It's a complete complex mess.
Yeah, it seems so good as a blanket statement, like we shouldn't pay tax because why? You know what I mean? But like if you think about it, a place like Liverpool would be a complete ghetto. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
a lot of like the zero tax zones, they're at a place where they've got just concentrated rich, haven't they?
Yeah, they've got something bringing people there, you know. Or what the problem we couldn't do it is because who was it? Margaret Thatcher sold off all our public services which make money. For example, mining, drilling, all that stuff. Like, the government ain't making money from it, so they have to tax people. You know.
Why did she shut those down? I don't know the situation.
I know she just sold off the rights as like private's better. Like, but we sold off a lot of things like buses. Like, think how shoddy buses are run now because there's one company like national whatever.
So
like, they've got no incentive to run them better because they're the only people in the market.
So they didn't shut it down over climate change.
No, it was nothing to do with climate change. They just privatized stuff to get money. Like, oh, come buy this. But like this year, we got held ransom by Eon and all these electricity companies about the war in Ukraine. But then, like 3 months later, the price of oil and gas dropped to below Ukraine war prices. But we're still paying higher prices. And then we charge them windfall tax, but he still made record profits. You know what I mean?
Yeah, didn't they conglomerately make like some 20 billion or something?
Yeah, 20 billion. Yeah, mad. And that goes back to because they're worried about shareholders. They just care about the CEO cares about his profits and the shareholder profits. They are not incentivized for the public to have a better time or like. So they keep talking about inflation being like a money printing problem, which it is obviously because we print out loads of money. But we've also got like greedflation, which is companies charging more money, and they're refusing to bring the price down because they're making so much money. You know, like the price of oil and stuff has come back down.
Oh yeah.
Like the price of gas come back down, but electricity companies haven't dropped their gas prices to below Ukraine war prices. You know what I mean?
And again, because there's no one to compete against them, so they don't have to be virtuous.
Yeah, exactly. There's no reason for them to drop the price.
Bro, and these same people who will tell you like, oh, you've got to do this, come and help out Hawaii, send money. Bro, what?